Hey there, fellow humans. Ever feel like you're being subtly manipulated by forces beyond your control? Like maybe those news stories aren't telling the whole truth? Or that politician's endorsement of a product seems a tad forced? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because you're about to enter the wacky world of elite media manipulation. Think of it like this. You're happily munching on your GMO-laden cereal, blissfully unaware that the TV is feeding you more than just breakfast news. It's also spoon-feeding you opinions, carefully curated by folks with fancy suits and even fancier agendas. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, you lovable scamp, surely you exaggerate for comedic effect. And to that I say, dear viewer, have you met a politician lately? The truth is, the line between reality and carefully constructed narrative is blurrier than a politician's promise during an election year. But fear not. We're about to grab our metaphorical red pens and start marking up this script. Let's be real, folks. The people in power, let's call them the elites, because overlords was deemed too on the nose by my legal team, love a good narrative. They also really like control. And what better way to control the masses than by shaping the very information they consume enter the media? Newspapers, TV, social media. It's all a giant puppet show, and guess who's holding the strings? But here's the kicker. They don't just control what we see, but how we see it. They frame issues, choosing words like climate crisis versus climate change, scary versus meth. They decide who's a hero and who's a villain in their little media play. And we, the unsuspecting audience, lap it up. We share those articles, retweet those hot takes, all the while blissfully unaware that we're dancing to their tune. It's both impressive and a little bit pathetic, isn't it? Now, before you go thinking this is just some tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, let's talk about America. The good old US of A, land of the free, home of the carefully curated narrative. Take climate change, for example. It's real, it's happening, and it's about as subtle as a Category 5 hurricane crashing your beach party. But for years, certain media outlets, often backed by those lovely fossil fuel giants, downplayed it. They told us it was a hoax, a liberal conspiracy. And guess what? People believed it. Because hey, who needs scientific consensus when you have a talking head on TV reassuring you that your SUV isn't single-handedly melting the polar ice caps? It's enough to make you want to scream into the void or, write strongly worded letters to your elected officials, but maybe not in all caps this time, Karen. We're trying to be taken seriously. Think the US has a monopoly on this whole media manipulation thing? Think again. It's a global phenomenon, folks, as common as bad reality TV and just as scripted. Take Egypt, for example. After the 2011 uprising, the military, not exactly known for their love of free speech, decided to get into the entertainment business. And by entertainment, I mean propaganda. They funded TV shows, movies, even soap operas, all designed to promote their version of events and discredit any dissenting voices. It's like Days of Our Lives meets 1984, and frankly, the acting could use some work. The point is, whether it's subtle nudges or blatant propaganda, controlling the narrative is a tactic as old as time, and it's happening everywhere. So next time you're watching a captivating drama about a love triangle in a small Egyptian village, ask yourself, is this true love or cleverly disguised propaganda? The answer might surprise you. Section 5, from straws to stadiums, the all-encompassing reach of the elite agenda. Here's where things get really fun or terrifying, depending on your worldview. The elite's desire for control goes way beyond politics, seeping into every nook and cranny of our lives. Remember that time everyone freaked out about plastic straws? Suddenly we were all supposed to be sipping our $8 lattes through paper straws that disintegrated faster than a politician's promise. Was it about saving the environment? Sure, partly, but it was also a fantastic distraction. A way to get us all riled up about something relatively insignificant while bigger issues simmered in the background. And don't even get me started on sports. The media tells us who to root for, who to despise, and even how to feel about mental health in athletes. They build narratives around rivalries, paint players as heroes or villains, all while raking in billions from our undying devotion to our favorite teams. It's a business, folks, and we're all just pawns in their game. Section 6, they told us to like him, so we kind of have to. The political endorsement circus. Political endorsements. That time-honored tradition where a celebrity we vaguely recognize tells us who to vote for, as if their opinion on economic policy is somehow more valid than, say, our local baristas. Now, I'm not saying celebrities are dumb, well, not all of them. I'm just saying that their political endorsements are often less about genuine belief and more about, you guessed it, manipulation. Maybe they owe someone a favor. Maybe they're hoping for a tax break, or maybe they just really like the cut of a certain candidate's jib. Whatever the reason, these endorsements are designed to sway our vote to make us think, well, if X celebrity supports this candidate, they must be good, right? It's the ultimate bandwagon fallacy, and we fall for it every single time. Section 7, normies versus elites, the ultimate grudge match. Spoiler alert, we're losing. So we've got the elites pulling the strings, controlling the narrative, sipping their lattes through their biodegradable straws. And then there's us, the normies. We work, we pay taxes, we occasionally remember to water our houseplants. We're just trying to get through the day without accidentally liking our ex's new profile picture. But here's the thing. The elites, they need us. They need our votes, our money, our willingness to buy into their narratives. It's a symbiotic relationship, albeit a slightly dysfunctional one. They control the media, shape our perceptions, and we, in turn, give them the power they crave. It's a vicious cycle, and breaking free requires a level of awareness most of us haven't quite achieved yet. But hey, a little awareness never hurt anyone, right? Section 8, rise up, or maybe just switch to that new streaming service, Decisions. So what's the solution to this whole media manipulation conundrum? Well, if this were a feel-good movie montage, now's when we'd all rise up, smash our TVs and start living off the grid, growing our own organic kale and forming our own independent media outlets. But this is real life, folks, and ain't nobody got time for that. So how about a more realistic approach? Start by being aware. Question everything you see and hear, especially if it comes from a source with a vested interest. Don't just accept the narrative, dig deeper. Read alternative viewpoints, even if they make you uncomfortable, and for the love of all that is holy, check your sources. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. Remember, knowledge is power. And in the age of information overload, the most powerful weapon you have is your own critical thinking skills. Section 9, stay informed, stay skeptical, stay hilariously aware. So there you have it, folks. The not-so-subtle art of media manipulation, laid bare for your viewing pleasure. It's a crazy world out there, full of smoke, mirrors and carefully crafted narratives, but don't despair. By staying informed, maintaining a healthy dose of skepticism and never losing your sense of humor, you can navigate this media minefield with your sanity intact. And who knows, you might even have a little fun along the way. Just remember, the next time you see a politician awkwardly endorsing a product or a news story that seems a little too convenient, don't just accept it at face value. Think critically, laugh a little, and maybe, just maybe, we can all start writing our own narratives, because the truth is out there, folks. It's just buried under a mountain of carefully curated spin.